I bring it up to very simply say, I know I went in a million different directions there. The good vibes for A&M is that they are one of the few teams that completely controls its own destiny in this thing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into TexAgs Rewind, presented by Specs in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Got the Fan Show guys with me, got Juan with me. All right, what was your favorite part of the show, Roy?
Roger Krager.
Yeah, that was a good part. Good music, by the way.
Yeah,
Hunter.
Also, unlike the Owens, Heisman segments, he's got a good sponsor.
Oh, that sponsor is really good. And you know what? That guy knows how to teach.
No doubt.
Yeah. What's your favorite part?
Coach Turner. Every time. That's so
Every time?
fun. Yeah. He's so good.
Juan, your favorite part?
I gotta say, Swope and McGee, they always kill it.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Torres today had a good day. Believe it or not, I think he did.
I always like 18.
You do.
I tell you what, Jim Turner though is one of those. We talked about it, man. I can't listen to it on the radio. Like I have to.
You want to go watch?
I got to go on the board and I got to watch.
Yeah. Look, you might not be getting what he's saying, but man, he's still super entertaining even just listening to him.
Yeah,
he is. He's a ball of energy.
And he knows ball. All right.
He knows ball.
Yeah. This is the rewind, so check it.
Your early impressions of this Texas A&M basketball team?
Man, I like them. I was frustrated with the UCF game just because, they're a veteran team and they should have been able to pull out that game and get a win on the road. But, it in the grand scheme of things, with everything that they have coming up, that game isn't going to be a make or break for this season. I'm really looking forward to Friday night. I think it's going to be a good game. I think that's two really up and coming good teams, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be a brawl for 40 minutes.
Doug and Logan Lee here on TexAgs Live. Logan, what about the new additions? Right, the Pharrell Paynes, the Zurich Phelps, CJ. Like this. I feel like these guys have been here for a while, but they haven't. I mean, Phelps just started playing. He missed part of camp.
Yeah, and that's a shame. I think A&M beats UCF on the road with Phelps in the lineup. He changed. I didn't realize how much he changes the speed of the game and the intensity on offense that he brings. I knew he could score the ball. Everybody knows he can score the ball, but man, he's electrifying. He's super quick. He gets up and down the court. CJ Welcher, he's done a job so far. They brought him in to knock down threes, and he's done a good job of that when he has had the opportunities to do so.
But you got to get your legs underneath you. And for Barber, I mean, that's like the deal. Like this dude, you're injured, and I'm thinking about like Ruben Owens. Like, is this guy going to be available at the back end of the year? But like getting your legs underneath you as a runner. It's hard. Like it takes time to do that. That's what training camp is normally for. And so it's been even more impressive. And I think you've seen him get his legs underneath him the last couple of weeks, especially like where he's even more productive and more involved. And I think this offense has got to lean on him in the pass game to get some of those explosive plays. But it's going to have to be the Marcel Reed show. Do you disagree?
No, Marcel's got to come to play. And we got to protect him. Our offensive line kind of got whipped in that South Carolina game. So in order for him to have a good game, we've got to pass block. And we got to run the football well. But,
that's why getting Chase Basantes back soon better happen, right? Like, especially by Texas.
And that front for South Carolina is good.
Yeah,
dude, that true freshman they have off the edge, that guy can play.
South Carolina was they're a well-coached football team, and they're talented.
Well, they played a great game.
They're a much better team than their record indicates, in my opinion.
100%.
Now, granted, their weak side is that, and I know he had a good game against us, but that offense is going to be limited with that quarterback. Yeah. I mean, like, he just cannot. Like, it was tough watching him throw. But he made plays. You got to tip your hat to the kid. I've never seen that many missed tackles.
It's unreal.
For a kid that was sacked 25 times going in the game, for us to not be able to tackle. So
we were in
all
position.
That to say, what's my takeaway defensively? It wasn't that we were in or out of position or having big busts. We just didn't do the fundamentals of football, which to me comes down to playing with a chip on your shoulder.
Yep.
You get more hats of football. You play with an attitude. Like, hey, this guy's got to go down. Like, I'm gonna hit this mofo right between the teeth, right? I mean, like, that's the mentality you got to have.
Yeah.
And I think Mike Elko's going to do that. I think this team's going to bounce back. I think we're better for it.
I agree with you. I agree with McGee. I think we're in a good spot, and I'm curious to see what we do this weekend. I think that all that'll be fixed. It'll be a great, test game leading up to Auburn, just to kind of tighten all the screws down and make sure that we're, tackling, doing the fundamentals, and executing all the little things that are most important that win games.
Well, then finding your
even
identity,
Coach
right?
Elko,
Like
finding your
offensively,
identity.
try some things out that you were like, hey, like I want to see how our offense, how do we handle this, right?
Yeah.
In a game situation where in a normal week you can do that, right? You're you're like, hey, I got to do X, Y, Z, but like, hey, maybe we try a no huddle in the middle of the second quarter. Tempo. We go 5 wides the whole way down there and just see how the offense handles it, right?
Hey, buddy, we didn't get to talk. South Carolina took it to A&M. A&M had a lot of issues in that game. Everything's still right in front of them. So just after an open week where there was a little bit of, not that much carnage in college football, just your thoughts on what A&M, what's still possible for this Aggie football team?
What's possible, listen, what's possible in theory is everything you want. Listen, Bronny and I talked about it last week. You went out, you're in Atlanta. You, just a second ago with your previous guest, brought up what I think is the most interesting conversation that nobody wants to have. By the way, preview of my show today. I think this college football playoff, we all thought, nobody will have an argument. If you can't make a 12-team playoff, there's going to be no argument that you shouldn't be in. It's like, okay, well, tell a 10-2 Ole Miss team that. Tell a potentially 10-3 Texas A&M team that. And I think there is so much I don't think it's going to be a fulfilling approach to get to 12. Like, I think once we get the bracket, it's going to be awesome. We're going to fill it out. I don't know if we'll do bracketology, whatever. But there's going to be so many teams that feel like they got robbed. I think there's already kind of the negative energy out there of, well, who's Penn State played? Well, who's Indiana played? Well, and I heard you guys talking about it. You're right. Texas, who has Texas played? Who, what happens to a 2-loss SEC runner-up that loses a third game in the conference championship game? To your point, you can say that the committee says they're not going to punish teams losing in the conference championship game. But, I'm trying to think of a hypothetical here, whoever. Let's just say somehow, some way, let's take Texas A&M out of it. Let's say somehow Georgia gets to Atlanta and loses a third game. How do you put Georgia in over an Alabama team that they lost to? How do you put them in over a 10-2 Ole Miss team that they lost to? And, of course, then the argument will be, well, Georgia, they're getting punished for playing in the conference championship. So I bring it up to very simply say, I know I went in a million different directions there. The good vibes for A&M is that they are one of the few teams that completely controls its own destiny in this thing.
I am more worried about Auburn than I am Texas. I will be worried about Texas the week that comes, but I am more worried about a road game in the SEC at a place that we have struggled than I am a home night game against your rival with potentially a SEC championship on the line.
Yes. So I thought about this week that we remember Mississippi State week. We were on the road in Mississippi State, and I was like, man, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
Oh, BAS, they got on to me about it, right? And I was like, so they're like, we're going to beat them just fine, and we did win that game, but I had the little bit of BAS, and now, hey, had we beaten South Carolina, we'd be like, oh, it's fine, everything's going to be fine, but that's creeping back up a little bit, I think. I mean, to be worried about Auburn, who is actually good.
They have talent.
I'm worried. Again, I will say the one difference is that quarterback. Our players aren't going to be bouncing off their quarterback like we did the South Carolina quarterback.
I agree.
He will go down. We will get the sacks that we were supposed to have gotten and should have won that game.
He's a little dinged up on his non-throwing shoulder right now. But you're right. I mean, it's a night kick road venue in the SEC against
at Auburn
at a place right.
Really
it's sold
good
out.
one.
They suck and it's sold out.
Yeah.
So
I really like Jordan Hare, actually. I like Auburn.
I don't have BAS right now, but I'll be nervous next week, right? And they've already showed us this team we're super inconsistent, right? We'll beat Auburn.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. You need to focus on New Mexico State.
Well, I was going to
know
say,
what's happening at this table.
Hey,
They're going to lose if you guys don't focus.
Well, there's a text that came in. I'm glad you brought that up from Jerry, who said that, what did he say? He said, Aggies are thinking way past New Mexico State. They're messing up one at a time. Get one right in front of you. Be thinking about Texas is too early. He goes on to say, never think past the next game. I don't care if it's Navasota Tech.
Well, we don't know what the team is doing.
Yeah,
we're doing that because we're fans. That's what we're
this is
supposed
the
to do.
fan show. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
the coach's show.
One of you idiots said start Wigman.
Yeah. Yeah, who did that?
It's like 10 bunch of idiots saying
sounds
nonsense.
insane to me. I've already mapped out our entire road to the national championship, okay? So, hey, I've already thought way ahead, but it's what the team is doing.
Look, Juan, tell the people what to do.
Howdy, guys. You're going to like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. Comment something that you liked about the rewind today.
Okay. Hey, I got a question for you.
Looked like a hostage video.
Yeah.
Please, no. They're treating me great.
No, I was going to ask
Blink
you.
twice if everything's okay.
I was going to ask you. This is something you do really well. I think I've asked you before. Did your dad teach you to smile when you speak since he's a broadcaster?
Oh, yeah.
I can tell.
Oh, yeah.
They taught me. I just didn't learn how to do it. It hasn't stuck. Good job. Thank you, Juan. All right, that's going to do it for the rewind. We'll see you next time.